Send us a blindfold, send us a blade. Tell the survivors help is on the way. I was a blindfold, never complain. All the survivors singing in the rain. I was the one with the world at my feet. Got us a battle, leave it up to me. Find us a trapdoor, find us a plane. Tell the survivors help is on the way. I was a blindfold, never complain. All the survivors singing in the rain. I was the one with the world at my feet. Got us a battle, leave it up to me. What it is and where it stops, nobody knows. You gave me a life I never chose. I wanna leave, but the world won't let me go. Wanna leave, but the world won't let me go. What it is and where it stops, nobody knows. You gave me a life I never chose. I wanna leave, but the world won't let me go. Wanna leave, but the world won't let me go. What it is and where it stops, nobody knows. You gave me a life I never chose. I wanna leave, but the world won't let me go. Wanna leave, but the world won't let me go. What it is and where it stops, nobody knows. You gave me a life I never chose. I was the one with the world at my feet. Got us a battle, leave it up to me. Leave it up to me. Leave it up to me.
Where is this place we've come to? We don't know what to say. We long to see each other and are frightened of that day. You met me in a barren place. You walked me to the hill. We were so good for each other then. I know we could be still. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. Not if you tried. Oh no, not if you tried. Oh no. We have 500 questions between you and me. But when you look into my eyes, my love, tell me what you see. Is it something you're not sure of? Is it something true and fine? Or is it just another case of the right thing at the wrong time? You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. Since we were first together by the lakeside sky so blue, we were so good for each other. Me and you and me and you and me and you and me and you. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. Not if you tried. Oh no, not if you tried. Oh no. Woo! You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. You couldn't have come at a better time. Not if you tried. Oh no, not if you tried. Oh no, not if you tried.
Reflections on the water, more than darkness in the depths. See him surface in every shadow. On the wind I feel his breath. Golden eye, I found his weakness. Golden eye, he'll do what I please. Golden eye, sweetness, but a bitter kiss will bring him to his knees. You'll never know how I watched you from the shadows as a child. You'll never know how it feels to be the one who's left behind. You'll never know the days, the tears I've cried. But now my time has come, and time is not on your side. See him move through smoke and mirrors, feel his presence in the crowd. Other girls, they gather around him. If I had him, I wouldn't let him out. Golden eye, not lace or leather. Golden chain taken to the spot. Golden eye, I'll show him forever. It'll take forever to see what I've got. You'll never know from the shadows as a child. You'll never know how it feels to get so close and be denied. It's a gold and honey trap I got for you tonight. Revenge, it's a kiss. This time I won't miss. Now I've got you in my sight. With a golden golden eye. The golden eye. Golden eye. Golden
Good evening. It is Wednesday. Oh, it's not working, is it? Stupid machine. Hello, hello. No one can hear me. Oh, no, you can. It is working. Take it all back. What a start. Seamless. Seamless with a hint of It's My Life. Welcome to the Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz. It is 8 o'clock. It is Tuesday. I have finally got an internet connection, although it's a little unclear whether the upload speed is going to be up to scratch for the broadcast. So do let me know if you have any quality issues with either the audio or the video. Either way. For those who are new, the Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz, other than being regularly punctuated by minor technical hiccups and oversights, is a quiz in 4 parts. We will be starting very shortly with round 1, which will combine 7 pictures from our Quizcazoatl picture round, which you can download at bit.ly/Quizcazoatl_pictures, with 13 trivia questions that I will be reading out as we go along. And after that, we'll have a little pause before we move on to the music round. Thence to round 2 with another bunch of trivia questions, a couple of audio questions and 7 more pictures, marked 8 to 14 on your picture sheet. And we will close with the wipeout round. If I don't decide that my internet connection can't cope with it, we will also be doing not 1, but 2 t-shirt tie breaks this week. We have Suggy, if he can be lured out of his cave, versus Tony, winners of last week's spot prizes. We also had a dead heat last week for first place between the Midway Kings and the Honest Middling Hedonists, so I will be looking to queue them up with a tiebreaker as well. All of that is to come. As ever, if you would like to compete against our regulars for the chance to win the quiz and get your once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win a limited edition, not available in the shops, Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz t-shirt, then get to the answer sheet, bit.ly/Quizcazoatl_answers. Yes, we did pick a good word for something we have to read out to people as a URL in audio form. So it goes, bit.ly/Quizcazoatl_answers. If you spell it first time, give yourself a bonus point. Anyway, we will be on with a little more quadmin in a minute as we go along, but let's start ourselves off with a question. Oh, that is not the questions. Well, strictly speaking, it was the questions. If anything, it was too much of the questions. Let's try that again in slow motion. Which of these Spice Girl nicknames is also the name of a spice? Which of these Spice Girl nicknames is also the name of a spice? I'll give you a clue. I don't think it's old. And I suspect that wasn't too hard for seasoned quizzers such as yourselves, so we'll move straight to question 2 as well. The name of which South American country means equator in Spanish? The name of which South American country means equator in Spanish? And we'll get to our first. We have got 7 whole faces for you. 7 whole faces for you there. Can you identify these 7 individuals? Give me their commonly used names. All of them start with a W. And the feedback I'm getting is that my frame rate is very low, but the audio is okay. Hopefully, you would be telling me if you couldn't hear me. If anyone else could post in the comments what their experience is, I think that we might have to hold off on having the our normal tie-break video sessions just for this week. I'll see whether I can organise those in a different way. Okay, onwards to question number 4. Which 2010 film was the first to feature the small yellow characters known as minions? Which 2010 film was the very first to feature the minions? Question number 5 now. By population, what is the largest city in Scotland? Soon to be an independent nation of its own accord. Not just the city, the whole kit and caboodle. And the north, the way things are going. By population, what is the largest city in Scotland? Question number 6 takes us back to the pictures. We have... Oh, there we go. We have some Venn diagrams for you. There's an example on the left. If you're in any doubt about how this works, you should be able to intuit it from looking at that Planets Meets Chocolate Bars case study. We then have 6 bubbles. Can you work out what lives in the intersection of each pair? 3 question marks means 3 points available. In the Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz, we give you a point per answer. Question number 7 are coming. The logo of the National Trust, that would be the British National Trust, I'm afraid, for all non-British players, but do your best, I'm sure you'll work it out. The logo of the National Trust features leaves of which tree? The logo of the National Trust features leaves of which tree? And question number 8 as well. Can you name for me the 3 countries that are entirely in the southern hemisphere and whose common names begin with an A? Name 3 countries entirely in the southern hemisphere, nothing just poking out onto the top side, and whose common names begin with an A. 3 points available. Question 9, and it's more pictures coming up. We have for you some winning entries, as it were. 7 things here, all starting with a W-I-N. Can you name them all? 7 things to get, 7 points available. And question number 10. Which word from the French for the morning refers to a play or a show that is performed during the daytime? Which word coming from the French for the morning refers to a play or show performed during the daytime? And number 11. In the footballs, which international side won the inaugural UEFA Nations League competition back in June 2019? In the footballs, which international side won the inaugural UEFA Nations League competition back in June 2019? Question number 12 is our fourth picture. We have got 5 films for you to have a look for, and can you tell me the actor in common between all 5? 5 films and an actor who appears in all of them. Okay, it is time for the first of our 2 tie breaks of the day. Unusually, this is going to be a non-video, non-audio tiebreak because, as you may tell from the lack of definition to my mouth movements, it looks like my upload speed on my new working internet connection is inadequate to the needs of the quiz, which is a shame. So ears down, listen in. This is going to go out only to the Midway Kings and to the honest middling hedonists who I have lined up behind their chosen representatives on a WhatsApp text chat because I'm living in the future. So here we go. As ever, for our tiebreaks, I'm going to give you 3 events from history. All I am going to ask you to do is to tell me in which year these 3 things happened. So, our first event I guess in the United States of America, Orson Welles' War of the Worlds was broadcast for the very first time. Orson Welles' War of the Worlds was broadcast for the first time. Okie dokie. I don't have any answers coming in on the text. Hopefully everyone can hear me. I'm going to give our players my second event now. So the second event, nuclear fission is discovered. Midway Kings and honest middling hedonists, our second event, nuclear fission was discovered in this year. Did I tell you the ranges? I'm giving plus or minus 3 to whoever comes in with the first guess, plus or minus 1 to whoever comes in with the second, making it tough because it is, after all, a team sport. Okay, third event. The very first ever Superman comic is released in this age of many, many superhero films. It may be surprising to think that there was a time without Caped Crusaders and Men of Steel and all of the rest of it, but there was. And in this year in history, the very first ever Superman comic was released. So let's have those 3 again. Orson Welles' War of the Worlds was broadcast for the first time. Nuclear fission discovered, and the honest middling hedonists have come through, and they said 19,378, which is of course 17,000 years in the future, and therefore wrong. However, they did then correct themselves to 1938, which is spot on. Well done, hedonists. I am hoping that the Midway Kings were paying attention. The downside of doing this in a non-video format is that you never quite know whether you've missed people. But that's how the cookie crumbles. Honest Middling Hedonists not only get to claim the victory from last week, but also are eyes down for their very own little bit of Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz memorabilia. We'll sort that out with Jane the Temple Elf later. And the Kings indeed came in, but on my feed I got the Midway Kings answer, which was also exactly right, well played, but I'm afraid I got your answer second. I am gonna take it as they came in on WhatsApp, so well played, Honest Middling Hedonists. A very solid knowledge-bearing effort from the Midway Kings as well. Bad luck to you. And for everyone who was slightly perplexed by that silent bit of television, it is time to get to your very own first spot prize question of the day. So if you are also interested in the chance to win a limited edition, not as limited as I thought when I first said that, mind, limited edition, not available in the shops, Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz t-shirt, then get your individual answers in to this one. What was the official attendance of the Super Bowl LV? Super Bowl, what does LV mean? Super Bowl, is that 55? Is this in Latin? What was the official attendance of Super Bowl LV? He duetted with Coolio on Gangster's Paradise, did he? Did he have something to do with it? What was the official attendance of Super Bowl, possibly 55, played on the 7th of February 2021 in Tampa, Florida? What was the official attendance of Super Bowl 55, played on the 7th of February 2021 in Tampa, Florida? You can, as ever, get your answers into me through the email address quizcazoatl@gmail.com. You can do it through the Facebook Messenger service for the Quizcazoatl Pub Quiz Facebook page, or you can do it any other way you think you'll get my attention. And we'll get you up another real quiz question. Question 13. The Bundestag is the name given to the elected House of Parliament in which country? The Bundestag is the name given to the elected House of Parliament in which country? And question number 14. Oh, we're back to the pictures. It's picture number 5. Predictive texts. We have two little mini phrases, I guess, in this case, that can go after the word live. Two phrases that can go after the word live, as indicated by these early 2000s thumbtacking puzzles. Question number 15. In the original London version of Monopoly, how much money is each player allocated at the start of a game? Spend it all as quickly as you can and mortgage everything. But before that happens, how much money is each player allocated? How many alligators are each player allocated at the start of a game of the London version of Monopoly? At an assumed exchange rate of £1 per alligator. Question number 16 are coming. Who wrote the novel Wuthering Heights? And a proper dirge of a novel it is too. Who wrote the novel Wuthering Heights? With apologies to Wuthering Heights fans, but it works as a Kate Bush song. That's the best you can really say about it, isn't it? Who wrote the novel Wuthering Heights? Published in 1847. Published in 1847. Full name, please. And I can tell you, had a little bit of a limited response on the tiebreak thus far. So if you would like to get in your guesses, how many people attended the Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, Florida this February? Now is your last chance to get those guesses in. Question number 17 takes us back to the pictures for picture number 6. We have got 4 logos for you. Not the easiest set of logos I think we've ever had, but maybe you know them better than I do. 4 logos for 4 points available. And question 17 takes us to the exciting moment when I reveal which of the exceedingly limited group of people who tried to answer on the Super Bowl got the answer right. Where am I? So, the answer I was looking for was 24,835 people. That means that only 1,170 out of the honest middling hedonists in a field of 2. You have been beaten. The only 2 people who answered had a pretty good idea of it. Tim came in 260 below Eric at 25,738. Tim, the prize is yours. I feel like we're dwindling again in our level of spot prize interest. We may have to try something to jazz it up once more to maintain interest. Anyway, while Tim celebrates that rather anticlimactic victory, we'll ask you question 18, which is which English monarch was born in February 1516 and died in November of 1558? Which English monarch born in February 1516 died in November 1558? Question number 19 takes us to picture 7, our very last picture of round 1. We have got 4 people for you, all born in the same year. Can you tell me their names? And can you tell me the year that they were born? And the end of question 1 is heralded as ever by the appearance of question number 20. How is the itchy skin condition tinea pedis better known? How is the itchy skin condition tinea, or is it tinea pedis, better known? That being the end of round 1 means I'm going to give you a 5-minute break / opportunity to finish those answers. At the end of the 5 minutes, we will be back for the music. Stay tuned. Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back. It is time to think about going to the music round. What? What do we do in the music round? I hear you ask. Well, I suspect most of you know full well already. In the music round, we are going to have 6 songs spanning the decades all the way from the 1960s up to the 2010s, with one in every decade in the middle. I will play them for you through once, then I will give you a minute to discuss it amongst yourselves, and then I will play them for you again. Be warned, we do occasionally get ourselves a song which has not one but 2 artists performing it. So I am asking you for the title of the song and the performing artist. Where there are 2 artists, it's half a point for each. In the unlikely event we get 3 artists, I guess it's a third for each. We'll find out when we get there. Anyway, here we go.
I need you, oh, I need you, but all you do is treat me bad, break my heart and leave me sad. Tell me, what did I do wrong to make you stay away so long?
No New Year's Day to celebrate. No chocolate covered candy hearts to give away. No first of spring, no song to sing. In fact, here's just another ordinary day. No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke you broke, your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. Stop making the eyes at me, I'll stop making the eyes at you. What it is that surprises me is that I don't really want you to. When your shoulders are frozen, oh, but you're an explosion. Your name isn't real, but I don't care for sand and lights in a fuse. My results in a bang, but my bang go.
I'm dancing on my own, I'll make the moves up as I go, and that's what they don't know. That's what they don't know. But I keep cruising, can't stop, won't stop grooving. It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. 'Cause the player's gonna play, and the haters gonna hate.
Alrighty then, designated markers, eyes down. Your marking sheet should be coming through shortly. In the meantime, let's have another playthrough of that music.
I need you, oh, I need you, but all you do is treat me bad, break my heart and leave me sad. Tell me, what did I do wrong to make you stay away so long?
No New Year's Day to celebrate. No chocolate covered candy hearts to give away. No first of spring, no song to sing. In fact, here's just another ordinary day. No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke you broke, your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. Stop making the eyes at me, I'll stop making the eyes at you. What it is that surprises me is that I don't really want you to. When your shoulders are frozen, oh, but you're an explosion. Your name isn't real, but I don't care for sand and lights in a fuse. My results in a bang, but my bang go.
I'm dancing on my own, dancing on my own. Make the moves up as I go, and that's what they don't know. That's what they don't know. But I keep cruising, can't stop, won't stop grooving. It's like I got this music in my mind saying it's gonna be alright. 'Cause the player's gonna play, and the haters gonna hate.
Alrighty then. That is the music. That means it is time to go to the round one marking. If you insist, you can continue filling in your music answers until we finish doing these. Unless, of course, you are the designated marker for your team, in which case, eyes down, look in. Our first question, which Spice Girl is also the name of a spice? It's not baby, it's not even sporty, it is ginger. Ginger for the point. Question 2, which country's name is equator in Spanish? Spanish, it is Ecuador. Ecuador. Question 3, a little bit more difficult, some of these. Only just. We had 7 W's. They were, first off, you all knew it was Christopher Walken. Then we had Legally Blonde, it is Reese Witherspoon. Then we had Man from Fashion Show, I think, got one. We had Christine Wig, then Rachel Weisz, or possibly Weiss, and Christoph Waltz. Christoph Waltz. They were again 7 points for Christopher Walken, Reese Witherspoon, got one, Kristen Wiig. Oh, did I miss one out? Hang on a second. I think I might have forgotten to say Ben Whishaw on the first run through. Very bad presenting. My apologies. Ben Whishaw is there. And then Rachel Weisz and Christoph Waltz. 7 points there. Hopefully you caught up. Let me know if there was any confusion after I left out Ben Whishaw on the first run through. On to question number 4. For Christoph Waltz. I'm for Christoph Waltz as well. There's certainly a point for him. Christoph Waltz is correct. Explore with I. You may need to clarify that question. Oh, for Christoph Waltz, it is supposed to be Christoph, but I am going to be outlandishly generous and allow Christopher. So I will give the point for Christopher, because this is exactly the sort of thing that people then tell me was garbled in translation between them and their transcribing teammates. So a little generosity. Question 4. Which 2010 film was the first to feature the Minions? That was Despicable Me. Lovable little tykes they are too. Despicable Me. Question 8. The largest city by population in Scotland is Glasgow. Glasgow, if we have any Americans watching. Then question 6. We had some Venn diagrams. We were looking for Carrie. I gather that Christine would also be acceptable. But Carrie is what we were after. Stephen King films and Star Wars actors. Then we had Pluto. That's fictional dogs meets tiny planets. Then we had Ballas. Apparently this is the surnames of Strictly judges. Strictly Come Judging. That sounds like an awful programme. Surnames of Strictly judges meets US cities with the letter D changed to a B. I thought Ballas, and then I couldn't work out how it could possibly be in the first group. There you go, missing out. Question 7, you all knew that the National Trust has an oak leaf on it. Oak for the point there. And then our 3 A countries were Angola in Africa, Argentina in South America, and Australia. There is a point for Christopher Waltz. If you only put Christopher, that is nothing. But yes, Kat, we will allow Christopher, Christoph. We'll even allow it with a K. That's how generous I am. What do we have there? Anyway, 3 countries, Australia, Argentina, and Angola. Question 9, 7 things, all winning. There was Winona Ryder. And then there was Wingdings. Third, we had Winnie the Pooh. Fourth answer was wine gums. After that, we had Windows. Strictly speaking, Windows 95, but Windows is fine. The big van is apparently a Winnebago. I think that Frasier's dad owned one. And finally, the rat and the mole are in The Wind in the Willows. 7 points for Winona Ryder, Wingdings, Winnie the Pooh, Wine Gums, Windows, Winnebago, and Wind in the Willows. A play that is performed in the daytime is a matinee. Matinee for question 10. Everybody got that? While the inaugural UEFA Nations League competition was won by Portugal. Only a few of you got that. Well done if you did. Portugal for question 11. Question 12, we had 5 films and the commonest of actors. They were, the first one apparently is Mamma Mia. Mamma Mia. Then we have Kingsman. We then had The King's Speech, not to be confused with Kingsman. Our war film with Benedict Cumberbatch was 1917, followed by The English Patient. And our actor in common for a 6th point, they all, of course, featured Mr. Darcy himself, Colin Firth. 6 points for Mamma Mia, Kingsman, The King's Speech, 1917, The English Patient, and Colin Firth. Question 13. We were looking for Germany. The Bundestag is in Germany. Everyone knew that for a point. Then, continuing our slightly James Bondy theme for the night, 2 things that can follow the word live or live. Live in both cases, actually. It was and let live, and then a little. So live and let live, and live a little. 2 points for that. How much money does one start off with in a game of London Monopoly? It's £1,500. Although my answers say it's Monopoly dollars, but I always thought they were pounds. So it's the London one. We'll assume it's £1. Our Wuthering Heights author, it's not Charlotte, it's not Anne, and it's sure as heck not Jane Austen. It is Emily Bronte. Emily Bronte for a point. The middling 10 lists are asking for a bonus point for alternative spellings of Bronte. No such bonus point is available, I fear, but, jolly good effort. Now, question 17, we had some logos. They were Air New Zealand, firstly. Air New Zealand. Then King of Cheddars, it's Cathedral City. The third one is apparently Discovery Plus, which I think is probably a Space Shuttle sequel, but might be some sort of television channel. And the fourth one, evocative of the Hive, is Bumble. Bumble for the 4th point. So that was Air New Zealand, Cathedral City, Discovery Plus, and Bumble. Which English monarch was born in 1516 and died in 1558? That was Mary I. Mary I. Mary Tudor is acceptable for the point. Mary Queen of Scots, I'm afraid. And I have to put it to you, the clue is in the question, English monarch, Queen of Scots. Mary Queen of Scots is not the correct answer, nor is it worth even a half point, I'm afraid. Mary Tudor or Mary I for the point. Coming up to the end of round 1, we had question 19. 4 people all born the same year. They were the home improver himself. It is Tim Allen. Then we had Kim Basinger, or Basinger. Then we had Pierce Brosnan, another logical in James Bond link. That's why I was playing GoldenEye earlier. And then not Tina Turner, no way, no how. It is Shaka Khan. Shaka Khan for the 4th point. And they were all born in 1953, which means we'll give a point for anything from 52 to 54. So Tim Allen, Kim Basinger, Pierce Brosnan, Shaka Khan, all born in 1953, plus or minus 1 either way at the end there. Our final question for round one, we asked what the itchy or how the itchy skin condition known as tinea pedis was better known. The answer was athlete's foot. Not dandruff, wrong end, I'm afraid. Athlete's foot for that point. Let me know if you have any outstanding questions on the marking. Otherwise, it is time for us to go straight bashing on into question one of round two. And it is an anagram. Can you rearrange the letters of they like raking to find the name of a famous woman? Don't know if she's a gardener or not, but they like raking. TheYeRaking. And make sure you have a note of the anagram. You can keep coming back to it if you haven't solved it quite yet. In the meantime, question two. What medication which is used to treat malaria is also a flavour component in tonic water? Which malaria medication is also a flavour component of tonic water? Question three takes us back to our pictures again, which I haven't actually managed to put up. Here we go. It is picture number 8. We've got more animal songs. I'm looking for only the titles of these songs, but as a little bit of a hintlet, we also have the artist's initials and the years for you. So all I'm really after, though, is the song titles. 4 songs, 4 points available for this one. Question number 4. And we have a music question for you. Musician and rapper Elliot Gleave is known professionally by what name, or which is derived from his initials? Musician and rapper Elliot Gleave is known professionally by which name, which is derived from his initials? Question number 5. In units of depth, a fathom is usually regarded as being equal to how many feet? I don't know in which circumstances it would be a different length, but anyway, in units of depth, a fathom is usually regarded as being equal to how many feet? I have been asked whether one team can have some sort of point for 1918 instead of 1917. I'm not sure, it sounds like it might not have been strictly just a spelling error, but 1918 is close to 1917, so half a point if you remember that the team you marked put 1918 in the movies on question 12. 1918 instead of 1917 can have half a mark. Unless you already gave it a point, in which case they shouldn't have mentioned it. Speaking of points, I will give you the uncorrected scores at the after round 1 mark. Him and her in 8th place, capitalising on the lack of more than 8 teams, on 30 points, just as much behind sounds a bit hippie to me, with an embarrassing mix-up between what Scotland and England is, on 39. The Footlins into the pack on 43, just a point behind the Hedonists on 44. And the Lockdown Haircuts capitalising on that extra or reduced half point on 44.5. In joint second, we have last week's Pipped at the Post almost winners, Midway Kings, level with Panic at the Tesco on 45. And up in front, just getting their round 1 answers in on time, it's the World Health Organization on 47 and a half. Of course, if you would like to keep in touch with the scores in some semblance of real time, you can get them bit.ly/quizcazoatl_scores. Do bear in mind it may take a minute for them all to level up, so don't panic if it looks like you've lagged behind a little in the middle of the marking. I'll put the next picture up as well while I think about it. We have got 6 artificially aged faces. Can you tell me who all of these older than they should be people are? 6 points available. onwards to question 7, and then we can do some music round marking. In the Church of England, what D, coming from the Greek for administration, I think inherited from the late Roman Empire, if I remember my history correctly. What D from the Greek for administration is the area under the supervision of a bishop. In the Church of England, what D from the Greek for administration is the area under the supervision of a bishop. All right then, designated markers, eyes down, look in on the music round. From the 1960s, we had Baby Love. Baby Love was the song. That was, of course, by the Supremes. Baby Love by the Supremes for a point. I have several people have put Diana Ross and the Supremes. I'm a little fuzzy on my Supreme history. Are these interchangeable? I think this is Diana Ross singing, right? Or is it anybody? Yeah. They were renamed in 1967 as Diana Ross and the Supremes. The Baby Love, of course, being 1964. I am not going to hold you accountable for that particular bit of pop trivia. Though well done to everyone who knew it was the Supremes only. Jane says yes. To that, I say kettle. Anyway, 2 points for Baby Love. Either the Supremes or Diana Ross and the Supremes are acceptable to me. Into the 1970s, and we're all asking the same thing. How do you turn a duck into a great soul singer? Well, you put it in the oven until it's Bill Withers. And leaning on that joke, we have Lean on Me by Bill Withers. Lean on Me by Bill Withers for the points. Somebody to lean on, I'm afraid, is not the correct answer. So I am not going to give a point for somebody to lean on. You're doing quite well enough without any charity points. Into the 80s, I just called to say I love you, and it is Stevie Wonder. The song I just called to say I love you, the artist, of course, Stevie Wonder. 2 points there. Looks like everyone got that. I'm not surprised. Then the 90s, I'll Be There For You, or the Friends theme tune if you prefer. Don't write the Friends theme tune. Almost everyone got it. You all got I'll Be There For You. Most of you got that the band is the Rembrandts. Well played if you got the Rembrandts. Into the 2000s, the answer to the question, do I actually know any Arctic Monkeys songs? Apparently I do. This was one of them. I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor. I'll take that bet. I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, the Arctic Monkeys, for a point. An impressive array of you missed the second C in Arctic. Badly done on the spelling, but we don't hold that against you in the Quizcazoatl quiz. Finally, that rarest of all things, a 2010 song I'd actually heard before. It is pop goddess Taylor Swift. No Britney Spears, and I'm afraid. And it was Shake It Off. Shake It Off. Shake It Up. I don't even know how you would shake it up. I guess maybe if it was shaken back. I'll give half a point for Shake It Up. The correct answer is Shake It Off. That is that. Very quickly again, Baby Love, The Supremes, Lean On Me by Bill Withers, I Just Called to Say I Love You, Stevie Wonder, I'll Be There For You, The Rembrandts, I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, The Arctic Monkeys, and Shake It Off with Taylor Swift. We'll have another scores update in a bit. In the meantime, we are on to question 8, which is another audio clue. I have 3 mystery voices for you. Listen to how they sound, listen to what they say. Can you tell me who they all are?
Number 1.
One of them is your basic flamethrower, which you just squeeze the trigger and a huge dragon-like flame jumps out. Taped to it, I had a submachine gun. I felt that the actual use of the guns was very difficult for me. I'm so glad that they were monsters and not people.
Number 2.
I knew how hard it was for him because he loved being president. And in many ways, I thought he was a good president. We just had big differences over economics and social policies. On the way down, I was first shocked by how many people were there, and they were clapping for me and clapping for him too, which is what you wish could happen in America more often.
Number 3.
Many months before I came back to GMB and back to Smooth Radio, where I was just locked in that bubble that we all have been because of, COVID restrictions, and me particularly. I am very aware that I am very lucky because Derek is still here and we have got the chance to battle on.
Number 1.
One of them is your basic flamethrower, which you just squeeze the trigger and a huge dragon-like flame jumps out. Taped to it, I had a submachine gun. I felt that the actual use of the guns was very difficult for me. I'm so glad that they were monsters and not people.
Number 2.
I knew how hard it was for him because he loved being president. And in many ways, I thought he was a good president. We just had big differences over economics and social policies. On the way down, I was first shocked by how many people were there, and they were clapping for me and clapping for him too, which is what you wish could happen in America more often.
Number 3.
Many months before I came back to GMB and back to Smooth Radio, where I was just locked in that bubble that we all have been because of, COVID restrictions, and me particularly. I am very aware that I am very lucky because Derek is still here and we have got the chance to battle on.
On to question 9. In the common modern version of the nursery rhyme, Polly put the kettle on, who takes it off again? Why would you do that when all we wanted was to have tea? In the common modern version of the nursery rhyme, Polly put the kettle on, who takes it off again? Question number 10 takes us back to our pictures. It is where the numbers meet. It is question 10, picture 10. And it's odd ones out, as ever it is. We have got 4 categories, all of which has an interloper. We have countries that have had a female head of government since 1900. We have green and white app icons. We have horse terminology. And finally, we have people who are in Harry Potter films. 4 odd ones out, 4 points available. And that also brings us to our second textual t-shirt tiebreak of the day. It's not much of a tiebreak because Suggy and Mike have gone down the pub. So I am just going to give Tony his opportunity to win as last week's spot prize winner. Seeing as there's no competitive element, Tony, I am going to be giving you plus or minus only 2 years either way on this one. Seems fair when you've got no one to compete with. So, our very first event, we have, this time we're back to 3 births, and our first person is Billy Ocean. Billy Ocean was born. There's no competition, so you might as well hear all 3 of them. This is, of course, as I say, just for Tony of the Midway Kings. Everyone else, you can know the answer, but it won't do you any good. Our second individual, politician Harriet Harman was born. Politician Harriet Harman was born. And that's 2. And our third individual was Ghostbuster, if I remember correctly. Bill Murray was born. So I said plus or minus 2 years either way. We had Billy Ocean, we had Harriet Harman, and we had Bill Murray. Tony, I am looking for an answer. Tony has said 1948. The answer I was looking for was 1950. Just 1950, which is exactly 2 years from 1948. So well played, Tony. Jane the Temple Elf will be in touch to organise you a prize. Some top guessing from the Kings this week, and we can all agree it's much more becoming that you only won 1 prize instead of 2 prizes. It would be excessive, even if you suffered some communications challenges in the team tiebreak. Anyway, the point in all of that was well played. And for anyone who would like to engage in such an anticlimactically sort of just narrated tiebreak next week, or God willing, if I get the upload speeds running a bit better, a video tiebreak. Here's another spot prize question for you to take on Tim. How many doors are there in the American presidential residence, the White House? How many doors are there in the American presidential residence, the White House? As ever, you are all individually able to put your answers in. Get them into me by question 17 when I will declare a spot prize winner. Hopefully this one's slightly more accessible to the audience than the Super Bowl, and I will get more than 2 guesses. I can honestly say 2 guesses a question doesn't feel like it vindicates the effort. So, stay strong, get thinking, how many doors are there in the White House? Alrighty, while you're all thinking over the size of the White House and how much people want to stay separated from each other, we'll go to question 11. After whose wedding on the 14th of November 1973 did the royal surname of Mountbatten Windsor first appear on an official document? The late and lamented Duke of Edinburgh, by all accounts, was slightly sad not to have birthed a new royal house, but you can only ask for so much in life, and he got most of it. Still, after whose wedding on the 14th of November 1973 did the royal surname of Mountbatten Windsor first appear on an official document? I gather that Mountbatten is an anglicisation of Battenberg, which of course means he comes from a family of cakes. Question number 12. Oh, it's a picture. Question number 12, picture 11. Can you give me 6 words represented by the red letters in these acronyms and initialisms? 6 words from the red letters in these acronyms and initialisms for 6 points available. While you think about those red letter words, I'll give you another question. Question 13. What surname is shared by not one, not two, but three former snooker world champions? Possibly world snooker champions. They had the first names Joe, Fred, and Steve. What surname is shared by three former world snooker champions? Joe, Fred, and Steve. And I'll give you a scores update while I have your attention and while you think about snooker. In 8th place with a respectable music round, Him and Her are up to 38. Behind Sounds a Bit Hippie, just trailing the pack, still on 50. It is tight for the rest of the spots. Only 3 points divides you. 5 teams got full marks on the music round. Well done. One of them was the Footlins, up to 55. Just behind the Hedonists on 56. Behind the Haircuts on 56.5. In joint second still, we have Panic at the Tesco and the Midway Kings. And falling back a little bit from their very aggressive early lead, a point ahead on 58, it is the World Health Organization. Question number 14 is another audio question. It is yet more little jingly bits from quiz and game shows. You're all quizzers, so I bet you've watched a few of these in your time. Can you name for me 3 TV quiz and game shows from these sound effects or stings?
Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3.
Question 15 takes us back to the pictures. Where are we? 12th picture of the day is this week. It is paraphrased cocktails. Can you revise the language in these clues to give you 6 cocktails? Question number 16. What name is shared by the city in which civil rights hero Rosa Parks famously refused to give up her seat, and also a famous World War II field marshal? What name is shared by the city in which Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat, and by a famous World War II field marshal? Being question 16, it is of course your very last chance to get in your guesses. How many doors are there in the White House? If you haven't had a go, see no answers from the Footlins this week. So it goes. If you haven't had a go, get it in quick or you'll miss the opportunity. Righty, question 17. It's more pictures. It is missing vowels. For the second week, we have some H2O phrases. can you add the vowels back, dilute in water to give us these somethings? 4 of them to do, 4 points available. As that is question 17, as warned only a moment ago, it is time to announce the winner on the doors in the White House. Tim, going for the second spot prize in the week for a guaranteed shirt, set 105. Not even close, mate. It's a massive building. Got more than 105 doors in my airing cupboard. That means that it is the terror of the t-shirts, king and or queen of Midway, Auntie Anne with 399. You are the closest to the actual answer, which was 412. Well played, Anne. You are down for a t-shirt tiebreak against Tim next week when, God willing, we will return to the video format. Question number 18 are coming. Which Swiss psychologist, born in 1875, originated the concept of introvert and extrovert personality types? Which Swiss psychologist, born in 1875, originated the concept of introvert and extrovert personality types? I'll give you picture 19 as well. I suspect that you've all looked at this already. We have got you some Irish counties. Can you name them given the first initials? We have D, M, G, T, L, C and more W. 7 points for 7 counties. Alrighty, you've still got a couple of minutes after I read this one, so don't panic completely if you haven't thought about your counties yet. But I'm going to queue up question 20 as well. In a series of stories and novels written by P.G. Wodehouse, what type of animal is the Empress of Blandings? In a series of stories and novels written by P.G. Wodehouse, what type of animal is the Empress of Blandings? And that being the end of round 2, I am going to give you a couple of minutes to finalise those round 2 answers before we bounce along to the wipeout round. All right, into the wipeout. You know the score by now. The last letter of each answer is the first letter of the next answer. Get them all correct. That's 6 for a bonus 2 points. Get anything wrong, lose all your wipeout points. So be cautious with the guessing. Wipeout question number 1. Born in 1936, which media tycoon and politician is the longest serving post-war Prime Minister of Italy? Born in 1936, which media tycoon and politician is the longest serving post-war Prime Minister of Italy? Wipeout question number 2. What name is given to the unconventional punctuation mark that combines a question mark and an exclamation mark? What name is given to the unconventional punctuation mark, except in my emails where it's pretty much every sentence, that combines a question mark and an exclamation mark? Wipeout question number 3. Basse-Terre and Grande-Terre are the two main islands of which French overseas department located in the Caribbean? Basse-Terre and Grande-Terre are the two main islands of which French overseas department which is located in the Caribbean? Wipeout question number 4. Asmara is the capital of which country which is located on the Red Sea coast? Asmara is the capital city of which country? It's located on the Red Sea coast. Wipeout number 5 are coming. Already came if you were concentrating very quickly and if that frame didn't get dropped. What type of bird is the nickname of Olympic gold medalist swimmer Michael Gross due to his especially long arms? Surely birds have wings. Anyway, what type of bird is the nickname of the Olympic gold medalist Michael Gross due to his enormously long arms? And the final question for yet another week of the Quizcazoatl Publess Pub Quiz. Pubs are now available, more or less. Question 6. In American colleges, what is the female equivalent of the male student society that is known as a fraternity? In American colleges, what is the female equivalent of the male student society known as a fraternity? All right, that is the end of the wipeout. That means I am going to give you a couple of minutes just to finalize your wipeout answers, after which I will give you a little, well, not after which, during which I'll give you a little bit of music, and then once everything is in, we're going to go to the marking.
Reloj, no marques la hora, porque voy a enloquecer. Ella será para siempre, cuando amanezca otra vez. No más nos queda esta noche para vivir nuestro amor. Y tu tic-tac me recuerda mi irremediable dolor. Reloj, detén tu camino, porque mi vida se apaga. Ella es la estrella que alumbra mi ser. Yo sin su amor no soy nada. Detén el tiempo en tus manos. Haz esta noche perpetua para que nunca se vaya de mí.
That's the end of the countdown. Get those wipeout answers submitted, gang.
No más
nos queda esta noche para vivir nuestro amor. Y tu tic-tac me recuerda mi irremediable dolor. Reloj, detén tu camino, porque mi vida se apaga. Ella es la estrella que alumbra mi ser. Yo sin su amor no soy nada. Detén el tiempo en tus manos. Haz esta noche perpetua para que nunca se vaya de mí, para que nunca amanezca, para que nunca amanezca.
Okay, everybody, I'm still waiting on the lockdown haircuts. If you have hit submit, well, just give it a moment for it to come through. If you haven't hit submit, why haven't you hit submit? Come on. We were making up time and so forth. And there they are, well played lockdowns. I will just activate all of the round 2 answers and we can get straight on, more or less, with the marking. Okay, hopefully they should be coming through round about now. So, eyes down, look in. The penny has just dropped with the headness that they got gypped on a answer that was wrong by a digit in round 1. It's an outrage! This is an outrage! Careful, I will do the entirety of the next quiz in the style of Tony Harrison from The Mighty Boosh, and it'll be even more than Trump was. Okay, anyway, just get the answer right in round 2, and that half point will be as nothing. Round 2, question 1. Rearrange the letters of They Like Raking to find the name of a famous woman. It was, most of you worked it out, it was Keira Knightley. A point for Keira Knightley. Thence our ingredient in tonic was quinine for question 2. I got a few different spellings, but give them all a point. Question 3, 4 songs with an animal in the title. They were Cool for Cats, then Florence with The Dog Days Are Over, The Meat with Bat Out of Hell, and finally The Culture Club with Karma Chameleon. Cool for Cats, Dog Days Are Over, Bat Out of Hell, and Karma Chameleon. Question 4. The question was, the musician and rapper Elliot Grieve is professionally known by the name Example. Example is the answer, not Professor Green. I thought for a second you'd accidentally answered a Cluedo question, but I guess I see where you were going with it. Question 5. A fathom is 6 feet. 6 feet is the answer I was looking for. No more, no less than 6. Question 6. People in picture 9, artificially aged. Well, I thought the first one was a bit tricky, but it looks like most of you got there in the end. It is Sometimes Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire, followed by Helen Mirren, and then Jamie Oliver. Fourth is Lizzo. We then had Idris Elba, and finally Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway for the 6th point. Tobey Maguire, Helen Mirren, Jamie Oliver, Lizzo, Idris Elba, and Anne Hathaway. Question 7. In the Church of England, a D word from the Greek for administration is diocese. Diocese for the point there. Question number 8. We had Sigourney Weaver. We had Bill Clinton. And we had Kate Garraway. Sigourney Weaver, Bill Clinton, and Kate Garraway. I see there's one who's put Galloway. I'll put that down for another transcription error. We will allow Galloway. Before anyone complains too loudly, that team is not doing very well, so we can afford to give them a little something. Question 9. In the common modern version of Polly Put the Kettle On, Suki takes it off again. Suki takes it off again. Suki for a point. Someone put Susie as well, hedging their bets, but as Susie was in brackets and Suki was given as the main answer, we'll give them the point for that. Question 10. We had our odd ones out. We had... Let's have a look, see, I've forgotten what the logic was. We had Spain has not had a female head of government since 1900. Gumtree does not have a white and green app icon. A cantarell is not a horse. I feel like it might be a melon. Cantarell is not a horse. And finally, not featuring in any Harry Potter films, we had... I've forgotten who it was now. We had Stephen Fry. Stephen Fry was not in the Harry Potters. He read them, of course, on the audiobook, on the UK version anyway. Question number 11. For 1 point only, I'm afraid that we will accept Princess Anne. Mark Phillips, as in the whole of the rest of his life since 1973, is only semi-relevant. Princess Anne's wedding for the point. Well played if you got Mark Phillips as well, but I'm afraid there's no bonus for it. Question number 12. Give the words or names from the red letters in picture 11, and they were, as in the English dictionary, it's Oxford. As in the British Board of Film Classification, it's classification. As in old age pensioner, we have pensioner. As in read-only memory, we have memory. JFK's middle name was Fitzgerald, part of a long tradition of American presidents with genuinely absurd middle names. And finally, the N in MSN is network, as in Microsoft Network. Those were the days. What am I trying to say here? 6 points for Oxford, classification, pensioner, memory, Fitzgerald, and network. Our snooker players for question 13, Joe, Fred, and Steve were Davis. Davis for the point. Question 14, our quiz snippets. We had a couple of slightly newer ones to start with. First off, Eggheads, followed by Richard Osman's House of Games. And a classic for the third, giving a slight clue on the video, although you probably couldn't see it because you only get one in every 100 frame. It was Bullseye. Eggheads, Richard Osman's House of Games, and Bullseye. Question 15, we had some cocktails. They were a Moscow Mule, a Mai Tai, a Seabreeze, a Cuba Libre, a Tom Collins, and finally a Singapore Sling. One more time. Moscow Mule, Mai Tai, Sea Breeze, Cuba Libre, Tom Collins, and Singapore Sling. Question number 16. Fighting Out in the Desert and Fighting Prejudice all at the same time in Montgomery. Montgomery for the point. Question 17. Our watery phrases were a drop in the ocean, let off steam. I see someone put British film censors. I'm afraid that they will not admit to being censors, so censors I will not give the point to, although the sentiment is very much correct, but no point for censors on British Board of Film Classification. Where was I? Anyway, I was halfway through giving you neither Wicklow nor Wexford nor World Health Organisation. Was it Wales? It was County Waterford. And I'll give you them one more time. Donegal, Mayo, Galway, Tipperary, and Limerick, Cork, and Waterford. And finally, the Empress of Blandings in the P.G. Wodehouse novels is a pig. Pig for the point. That takes us to the wipeout for our last 6 answers. You all remembered with the Bunga Bunga parties, the Italian Prime Minister more successful than one would have hoped he would have been. It was Silvio Berlusconi. On to our punctuation. It's a very good name for this one. The question mark, exclamation mark is an interrobang. An interrobang. Both the ERA and the ERRO spelling is acceptable. We'd have taken either anyway because we're nice like that. Interrobang. I have been given a request for a repeat on the question 18 answer, and that was Carl Jung. Carl Jung. Not Sigmund Freud. Carl Jung for question 18. Where were we? On to wipeout question 3. Basse-Terre and Grande-Terre are in Guadeloupe. Guadeloupe for the point. It is not Guam, and it is not Martinique and Guadeloupe, to the best of my knowledge. I can check whether these count as the same department, but I'm assuming that they do not. Yeah, I'm afraid Martinique, I think, is its own department, distinct from Guadeloupe. It is, yeah, there we are. The overseas departments are Martinique, La Réunion, Mayotte, French Guiana, and Guadeloupe. So, sorry, Martinique, Guadeloupe, it's a good shout, but it's the wipeout. Got to be cruel to be kind, or in this case, just cruel. No point for you. That's a wipeout. Asmara for wipeout question 4 is the capital of Eritrea. Eritrea, good for everyone who got that. Long-armed bird, after which is named Michael Gross, is the albatross for wipeout 5. And finally, completing the quiz, the female equivalent of a fraternity is a sorority. It was, someone else has asked, oh, I see the video, it looks like the video jumped for a couple of people. That might have been a problem at my end. Question 18 was Carl Jung. Question 19, the Irish counties, I'll say them one more time, were Donegal, Mayo, Galway, Tipperary, Limerick, Cork, and Waterford. The wipeout answers again very quickly. Silvio Berlusconi, an interrobang, Guadeloupe, Eritrea, the albatross, get your albatross. And finally, sorority. Sisterhood has the same meaning, but I'm afraid they do like to be a little fancier in the States. So we need sorority for the point for that one. Well, it looks like those answers are filtering through. Thank you as normal to all of our markers. It would be just a lot more of a nuisance if we didn't have you to help out. I again have been more taken up with internets and things, and I forgot that I was supposed to be appointing a new charity. So I am again not going to do you a charity appeal spiel this week, though both of our previous charity pages remain open if anyone would like to donate. I will promise to try and remember to get it all set up for next week. Anywho, let's have a look. That seems like well, it does look like one of those hasn't quite finished being answered yet. What number is that? Number 5. Am I right in this? So remember, if they wiped out, don't forget to toggle your toggle to yes instead of no. Okay, looks like number 5 has been marked, just taking a moment for the system to catch up with itself. There we go. So I think at that point that I can declare the results for another week of Quizcazoatl fun. And I can tell you there's been a wee bit of excitement at the top of the table. It is a humdinger. We have, in a jolly respectable 8th place, just the two of them, I think, and well played indeed to him and her with 70 points. In 7th place, just on the very cusp of overtaking someone, but not getting there. It sounds a bit hippie to me. Only half a point behind the Footlins on 101, wiping out and falling back from the pack. Similarly, the lockdown haircuts wiped out in Guam, we've all been there, on 101.5. That means our top 4 teams are divided by only 4 points. And they are with 112 points. We have, in 4th place, leading all the rest of the way, it was the World Health Organization, struggling on a difficult round 2. That means Panic at the Tesco, the Honest Middling Hedonists, and Midway Kings are competing for the top spot. Well, last week's winners, joint winners, the Hedonists and the Midway Kings, are joint 2nd this time on 114, so well played, Panic at the Tesco, chalking up another victory with a very strong 116. Well played to you, well played to everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. We're going to keep doing these, albeit apparently on a slightly reduced frame rate, until, let's say, I think at least the end of May. Then, as I was pretending last year, we will think about whether we should start winding down. It really depends whether we have an audience or not. So if you keep coming